Did anyone catch on to the fact that I stopped wearing pajamas and I would show up the next day on my Instagram stories in the same sweatshirt that I wore the day before? I don't really know how much it was seen here in my YouTube videos, but yeah, quickly in my pregnancy, I realized that I needed to wear a bra to sleep. This is so TMI, but you know, here we are. One of the first symptoms I had was that my boobs were incredibly sore, and sleeping at night without a bra in my pajamas hurt like crazy. And I also became a little bit more of a hot sleeper. I've always been more so on the hot end of sleeping, so yeah, I started sleeping in just a very comfy bra. I'll actually link to these because these are the best freaking bras that I have found during this time. And bottoms. And then I throw on a shirt the next morning, and that's why you guys have seen me the way that you've been seeing me.
Poppy. Thank you. Stick here in my house. Oh, kids.
My hair, I mean, it's at this stage, you know, where my part is doing this, and who the heck wants that? I washed it 3 days ago. I'm using Day. And I never put any dry shampoo or anything in it, so it's just greasy at this point. I need to wash it today because I have a hair appointment tomorrow. So there's like really no point in me putting dry shampoo in it. I am instead, this is when I really need the Day styling cream. I see it everywhere on social media, but this works as well to do what I want. I need a hair tie other than my scrunchie. Hold, please. Hair and makeup is done. I tried to put it in a top knot and my hair said no, not today. That's not happening. So we're just in a high sleeked pony, which works for me. Light makeup, and this is the fit for today, you guys. Oh man, how weird is this? We obviously have a lot to catch up on, and no, I'm not talking about the entryway. I've got a mirror arriving in 2 days. That's what this is. So I'm gonna mount a mirror there. I'm so excited. This wall's almost done. I still need to paint, but I have all the nail holes filled in. It's caulked. It's just temporarily set up like this because I actually had someone in my house today. So it's like, we have a lot to discuss. If you guys don't mind me like not immediately jumping to the fact that I have a belly. Entryway is gonna be wrapped up this week. I'm very excited about that. Another house project done. The bedroom that I've been telling you guys for a couple of months that I've been working on, that is the nursery. So you guys are going to get that video here soon. And then today I had someone come and give me an updated quote on the rest of the windows in my house. So I had this main area, these windows done. These were honestly a top concern for me. I wanted to get them done first because of the wood rot that was happening. A little freaky. You don't want a window to fall out. And the energy efficiency in here was just absolutely terrible, and it just like was not great compared to the rest of the windows in my house. The energy efficiency is terrible and they need replaced, but there wasn't like any serious wood rot that it was gonna be problematic. I'm gonna jump this over in manual exposure because I did not like how dark that was. So yeah, I had someone come today and the quote that they gave me was like astronomical. It was ridiculous. So I've got another company coming on Monday to give me a quote. Things are moving and grooving with this house. But welcome back to real time. Cathrin is pregnant, and this is crazy that I am saying that. Like the thought, like I've been filming so much behind the scenes, but the thought that like this is the first video I'm filming with the intent of like, I know exactly what this video is. I know exactly when this video is coming out. It's just kind of weird. So this month, May, You guys are going to get a lot of behind the scenes pregnancy content from me. If this is not something you're interested in, you are totally going to be uninterested in my content for the next month. If this is something that fascinates you or something you're curious about, you're going to love my content for the next month. I am going to be uploading every Tuesday, every Friday. I've got a lot of the videos already done or mostly finished at this point, and there's just a lot that I need to catch you guys up on. Where I am today, I am almost 21 weeks pregnant. And obviously that is 21 weeks worth of time that you guys have not known something huge going on in my life. So I do want to address some of the questions I'm sure I'm going to get next Tuesday. I actually am going to be uploading a pregnancy Q&A video, or just like life update Q&A video. So the day that this goes live, I'll have a box on my Instagram stories for you guys to leave your questions. Go to my Instagram, send me your questions, and I am going to film that video and get that up for you. But some questions that I think I'm going to get, I will address in this video. I do have a lunch date with Cameron in about a half hour, and I'm debating if I want to leave now. I should probably prep my computer so that I can take it with me. And by prep my computer, I mean just exporting my Lacy hard drive. We are doing a little bit of a work meeting. I am excited. I've got some things in the works right now that I'm really, really pumped about, and I'm excited to share. And one of them obviously being this baby, but I think I'm gonna head there, and then I'll like fill you guys in on all the tea, all the information, everything you wanna know, or at least what I think you wanna know. Oh, and I also wanna expose myself a little bit, because there's definitely some things that were included in my YouTube videos that were signs that I was pregnant. Like, it wasn't obvious. There was one thing where I was like, oh, that was like obvious, like something's going on. But otherwise, I don't really think anyone caught on. Let me just close out of that. Come on. Ma'am, you know I'm leaving. Excuse me. Like not sweating at all. Did I just have lunch with Cameron? Honestly, it's been a couple of hours. Like, it's so normal for us to just sit there forever. So it is now 4:07, ate like almost 3 hours ago at this point. And yeah, I could use more food, and I was really craving an acai bowl. So here I am. I feel like they didn't put a lot of acai in it. There's a lot of toppings, which is great, but I'm like, how am I to make this work right now? This bowl is so good. It's just acai, granola, blueberries, and peanut butter. Really nothing fancy to it. There's really not enough acai in it today, though. My thought was I could eat this and talk to you guys, answer some of the questions that I think you're gonna have. Or even, honestly, can I debrief on the Cameron situation for a second? So, I've been working behind the scenes on a couple of things. One, pregnant, growing a child. No, but seriously, within my business. And I had this idea that I wanted to pitch to Cameron, and by the time this comes out, hopefully I have an announcement for you guys like in a week or so. But we just had to buff out some details, and it's cool to have someone that's like my friend, but also someone that's like business minded like me, and like talk through ideas and all this stuff. And it's gonna be really cool. I'm really, really excited for it. So yeah, it was a very productive lunch. I'm super happy with where we're at. Let me eat this, and we're gonna run through some questions. We're jumping back to my comfy chair here. I just wanna like chill out, talk to you guys a little bit. I also had to set up a ring light. You would be surprised how dark it is outside right now. And the lighting just is not great. So we have a ring light happening. If I make myself super comfy though, is this too high? Yeah, most definitely. Okay, drop you down. Perfect. Okay, where we left off, the last video you would have seen if you decided to watch it, was me finding out that I'm pregnant. And yeah, so what ended up happening after that? I obviously told my man, and I have some behind the scenes of that footage because I thought I was going to create a whole video of like telling him I'm pregnant. But when it got to the moment, for one, there wouldn't have been a way for me to set up my camera that he would have not noticed. Like there was no way for it to be subtle by any means. And really, that's just not us. Like, we didn't even take our first photo together until a month ago, which is like maybe so bad, but at the exact same time, like, that's just not us. Like, we have so many photos of each other, and it's like funny, the photos that we have of each other, but like, we just don't take photos together, video together. Like, he's actually been in the background of a lot of my YouTube videos. And even when like working on this house before I moved in and stuff, like he was there alongside me. When I was painting, he was right there. I just had the camera so close to me that you guys couldn't see him. And it just like, it did not feel like a very us thing for me to put my camera in a spot and record his reaction. Looking back, like I wish I had that for my own memories because the moment was just like the sweetest freaking moment in the world. And I know I'm never going to forget it, but it's like, if I had that footage, don't get emotional, Cathrin. Just like would have been really nice to look back on. The sun is now coming out. It's playing me right now. How I told him though, I can explain that to you guys. So I ended up going shopping and I got like onesie pack for like a 3 to 6 month old. I could not find any onesies that I liked. Like I ran to Target, I ran to Old Navy, and then TJ Maxx is where I ended up finding them. But I was just trying to find something like gender neutral that was like cute and simple, and I could not find anything. So I ended up finding a 3-pack at TJ Maxx, and I had the pregnancy test inside the onesie, and I made it into a like present thing. And I told him, I was like, oh, I actually have a late Christmas present for you, because it was like the very end of the year. And yeah, it was like a very, very sweet moment. So you guys won't see that. I am sure I'm going to get 1,000,005 questions about my relationship. And I'm sure there's even a couple of people that are like, what the heck, you're in a relationship? Like, or what is happening here? I have very much so made the conscious decision to keep my relationship private. After my last relationship, for one, but like when I went into the dating world and stuff, like I really didn't announce that. I didn't talk too much about it. I really didn't share my experience with the whole online dating world. And I have footage that I was debating coming out with like before I announced that I was pregnant, but I was like, I don't want to attach this beautifully amazing experience to the shit show that was online dating. I just don't want that. So yeah, I'm honestly a really, really private person, and that may surprise you guys because I do share a lot of my life online, but at the exact same time, it's like when you watch my Instagram stories, that's like maybe 5 minutes out of a day. When you watch a YouTube video, that's 20 minutes out of a whole week. Like there's a lot of my life that you don't see, and I enjoy keeping a lot to myself. Like it's funny because my family even notices it. They're like, you're just a really private person. Like I am. I very much so am. And my relationship is one of those things. So going forward, am I going to share more of my relationship? Probably not, at least not for a while, but honestly, probably not. Like I just don't want to. I want to keep the relationship to myself. And I have always had this viewpoint. If you've watched me for a while, you would know that I chose to make my life public. No one else in my life did. So when it comes to my family, my friends, my relationship, my child, I have the exact same view. Like this was my choice. It was not their choice. And I have conversations with anyone that I bring on my YouTube channel. I mean, when it comes to my friends, you guys see Cameron obviously the most. I've got more friends besides Cameron. I swear I do. I just don't film them. Like family, I talk about Patricia. You guys know that I have a brother, but like I actually have 5 siblings. I don't share that side of my life, and that's personal preference. Like I chose to make my life public. They did not. You guys will see my dad in my videos. You guys have seen my stepbrother, but it's like otherwise that's it. So when we entered our relationship, actually before we even started dating, like we had conversations around like what it means to date me. And that may seem ridiculous, that may seem dramatic, but at the exact same time, that's just like what it is when you are in the public eye. And I'm not even to an extreme, but you know, like when you are an influencer, it's just a different life. It really is. So I'm sure I'm gonna get other questions about my relationship and like what's going on. Just know like we're all good. I definitely like crossed my mind that the video I shared of like something happened and like I'm going through some shit and then like I announced this, nothing is wrong with the baby, as well as nothing is wrong with our relationship. Like we are good on those fronts. Shit is good. So like don't even worry about that. Or I know there's gonna be someone that's gonna like try to create this crazy ass storyline. Like it's just there's no beef, there's no drama, there's nothing going on there. We are long distance, so in this series you will see like I'm going to doctor's appointments on my own. He lives in a different state, and that was a career move for him. So that's going to be interesting. I will share more of like what that looks like for our relationship in the future, and like with this kid coming, like what the heck that looks like. I'm not selling this house, for one. I don't want anyone to think like, oh my gosh, like no, I'm not selling this house. So that's for one, not happening. But yeah, that's like why you won't see him. I also don't mention him a lot in the pregnancy series, and that's because again, I chose to make my life public. I want to share my experience with this. That's what you're going to see. Leading right off of that, okay, my content. Is my content going to be all about pregnancy, motherhood, whatever? I have gotten to the point where my content is very much so just my life. It's like whatever's happening, that's what I share, which is great and awesome. But at the exact same time, there's a lot of different sides of me, you know, like especially if you guys follow me on my Instagram stories, I feel like you get the most well-rounded version of who I am, of just like goofy ass things. Like oh my gosh, I was dying laughing the other day at a photo that I took of Poppy and me. Like it was so incredibly funny. But you get that, you get house projects, you get business, you get like life, like it's all over the place on my Instagram stories. And just because I am pregnant and I am going through the journey of becoming a mother, that does not mean that I am losing all these other sides of me. You know, it's not like I'm just only gonna share one thing, which is really what I did when I bought this house. You know, it's like I hard pivoted my content. I am not going to do that with motherhood. I do want to share my experience. I am just gonna share like what the heck is going on in my life. And as right now, like it's funny, I have gotten some comments recently of people being like, are you just like really uninspired by YouTube? Like you're not posting as much, you don't seem to be taking it as seriously. I'm just like checking to make sure this lighting is good. And the reality is like it was so easy for me to film early on in the year. Like it wasn't that big of a deal to me because honestly, being pregnant didn't really feel real. And not a lot of my life was changing at that point because of me being pregnant. Now I'm at the point where I'm deep into research on like pregnancy and labor and the stages of labor and like different positions to be in and breathing techniques. Like I am deep in it right now because this is like the most physical thing I'm probably going to do. You know, like I'm not going to do like an Iron Man, or even then, like honestly, this is just like so, you know, it's like I'm preparing for a huge event to happen in my life. And it's just been consuming my life. So like recently it's definitely been harder for me to film because I'm like, what am I to talk about? Like, what am I to share when my life is so consumed by this, you know? So obviously some of my content is going to be that. Like you are going to get that side of me. I have a blog post written about like pregnancy favorites, like random things I've been loving right now. You're going to get that stuff from me, but at the exact same time, that's not going to be all of my content. Like you guys saw, I was able to create a whole bunch of content while I was pregnant that seemed normal, like what you guys have seen so far. You guys are still very much so going to get that. What else do I think you guys are gonna wanna know? Oh, why did it take so long for me to announce? Yeah, this is probably a long conversation, but if you are pregnant and like thinking about like when you wanna announce whatever, it's on your timeline. Like when you tell people is on your timeline. Me personally, I took a while to tell people. I didn't tell my sister until my first doctor's appointment. I didn't tell anyone else in my family until I was well into my second trimester. And by well in, I mean, I was like a couple weeks into my second trimester, but I wanted to keep it to myself, personal preference. I am a private person. I really just wanted to keep it to myself, and that was my own choice. So when I was debating when I was going to announce whatever else, I did take a look at a lot of other influencers, just trying to analyze what they did. When did they announce? There's some that announce earlier than others. Like there's someone that I follow right now that announced at 9 weeks, so still in the first trimester. There's someone else that's pregnant that, funny enough, is a day off from me, and she announced when we were 16 weeks pregnant. And I feel like from my analysis, a lot of people announce at 16 weeks, so that is 2 weeks into your second trimester. And when I was trying to figure out like, okay, when do I want to share whatever, I actually have someone that I am following that casually just dropped that they had their second child, like had no idea they were pregnant. Just casually dropped that they had a kid, and I was like, what the heck? So I listened to her podcast, and I like was consuming all her content, just being like, why did you make this decision? Like, what drew you to this path? And ultimately it was for her own mental health. She was like, I did not want the comments, I did not want the opinions, I did not want the outside world impacting me in any way in this pregnancy. And two, it was a great way to have a built-in maternity leave, because since like as influencers, we work for ourselves, and quite frankly, if we're not working, we're not making money. Like, yes, there's some passive income there, but at the exact same time, like if we're not working, other people aren't working for us, you know, like we are the front, we are the face of our content. Like we need to be doing these things. Maternity leave can be hard, or just taking time off can be hard. So she said that like while she was pregnant, she was creating all this content. Like she was capturing all of it. She had it edited, ready to go, so that by the time she had her child, all she had to do was hit post. Like she didn't need to do any other work. All she needed to do was hit post. So she had a built-in maternity leave. And I was like, you're a freaking genius. Like this seems like a really, really great idea. So for a while there, I was honestly thinking about keeping my pregnancy to myself the whole entire time. And what ended up changing my mind, there was actually a couple of things. But a big one was the meet and greet that I had here in Birmingham. So obviously I was pregnant then, if you guys came to the meet and greet. Like you had no idea, or I hope that you had no idea. This is like probably too much information, but I'm just enjoying catching you guys up on things. We ended up getting mimosas for the whole table, and champagne glasses were given to every person. And Cameron and I, like we had already talked about like, okay, like if this happens or whatever, because I didn't want to be the one person that was like, no, not me, not a mimosa. I like didn't want to draw attention to it type thing. So I had a champagne glass sitting in front of me. I cheersed with it and everything. I obviously didn't sip it, but everyone just got like champagne poured into their glass, and then they could choose what juice they wanted in there. Everyone had their juices, we're sipping. Cameron ended up drinking her whole mimosa and then reached over and took my champagne and then made a second one from it. And it was like the most perfect, smooth, like I like shuffled it over to her a little bit to like hint of like, hey, like this has gotta go. But yeah, anyways, at the meet and greet, okay, chatting with the girls that were there, it really like opened my eyes up to like why I do this. And it's funny because today someone went on their Instagram stories explaining this, that creators often start out and they're super vulnerable. They share the good, the bad, the ugly. They share like really deep, like it's very much so like unfiltered. And by the time you get some traction, you get some hate, you get trolls coming in, the things you were extremely vulnerable about, the trolls comment on. And that's where you notice that the negative comments come in. And then that makes you more reserved and you pull back. And then people say you're unrelatable or that you've changed, when in reality, you're just trying to protect yourself and your peace. And it stinks because it's hurting the people that have followed you from the beginning, that follow you with like the really, really good intent, that love you, that just want your content, and that honestly like love that vulnerable side of you, you know, like you're now taking that away from them and you're catering to the trolls, you're catering to the haters in a way that is just like not beneficial for your brand. And I have very much so felt that over the years. Going viral is not for the faint of heart. Like it's not easy, and that took a huge freaking toll on me. And it's obvious that I've pulled back. just meeting with those girls and talking with them, it was like a great reminder of like why I do what I do and like why I even got started, and just like the connection that we can all have. And by me not sharing this, like, yeah, I was saving myself from the people that were going to say negative things, but at the exact same time, like, people were going to say negative things when I had the kid anyway, so it's like, what the fuck ever. I was missing out on all of the love from the people that have followed me for the right reasons for all these years. I'm currently editing this video and realizing I never really looped back to the answer of this question of why did I wait so long? Like, why didn't I announce at 16 weeks? Instead, I decided to announce at 22 freaking weeks. Basically, I personally wanted the all good, all clear of my anatomy scan, just making sure that everything is growing exactly as it should. Baby is all good before I announce. Obviously, there's still things that can happen, but for me, that was like the final check, all clear before. Plus, this reserved a lot of time for me to work on this announcement series, and I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Epidemic Sound, because you guys, I obviously was snooping on all of the influencers, seeing what they were doing for their announcement videos. And so many people use the same songs over and over again, especially on Instagram. And me personally, I wanted, for one, something that I could upload on Instagram as well as YouTube. And on YouTube, it needs to be copyright free if you want to upload it as like a short. You know, if you want to be monetized, it needs to be copyright free. And I wanted something different. I wanted something unique. So I was on the hunt looking for different music on Epidemic Sound. That's where all of my sound effects that you hear within these videos, like the heartbeat, all of that was from Epidemic. All of the music is from Epidemic. So as always, I'm going to include a link for you guys in the description bar down below where you can get 1 month free with Epidemic Sound. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring, and I really hope you guys like the music that I chose, because I had to find some different genres that I've never dipped into before, and it was fun for me to find the music that was going to, like, the soundtrack that was going to embody this announcement series. Yeah, I don't know, I'm so happy to be here, to like finally be talking to you guys about it, to share this experience. And there's actually, I want to do like a quick, I can't believe you guys missed this, or like, why the heck didn't you question me? Because there were definitely a few things in my YouTube videos that when I was editing, I was like, this is so not normal. And someone definitely could have called me out on, and maybe people did, but I have pulled far back from my comments recently because honestly, it's just some shit I have been working through. So let me grab my laptop, hold on. We are going to start with this lovely segment of me cleaning up my house and eating a Lara bar. Yeah, I needed to eat like my first trimester. If I got a twinge that I was hungry, it was bad. It was gonna lead me to throw up. So yeah, me eating while cleaning my house is not normal, you guys. This next one, oh my gosh, orange juice. Orange juice does not enter my house. Like, it is not a normal thing for me to have on hand. I love orange juice on vacation, but in my house, like, that's just not something I do. This was actually my first pregnancy craving. And also in this clip, I have been eating first thing in the morning. Well, okay, so usually I don't eat like right as I get out of bed, and even now I don't anymore, but my first trimester I had to. Like, I had to wake up and eat immediately. Oh my gosh, this one is hilarious. I really want to break out my old Nikon. I've got a Nikon D80 that I used to shoot all of my photos with. Do you guys see what I see? Yeah, one of the first things I did to make this pregnancy seem real is I started buying baby clothes. It was just something like exciting that I could do. And when I filmed this clip, like, I'm pretty sure my reaction, hold on. This closet is comical, oh my gosh. And then I had to refilm the whole entire thing. So there's that. Before you even have to say it, Cathrin, what the fuck is that? Coffee, decaf coffee. So this was actually after a doctor's appointment where I asked my doctor about matcha, and I actually mentioned this in another video, and honestly, do not leave me your comments about things like sushi and matcha and lunch meat and whatever else, like what you can and cannot eat. I have done a shit ton of research at this point. I have made the decisions that I have made with certain things, but yeah, it was actually advised by my doctor to not have matcha, so I switched to decaf coffee. That's why you guys also saw it in like the beach video, like why I had decaf coffee. Then when I was at, you're gonna see what I see? When I was at the car dealership having my tires be put on. In the front of my journal, I have got my ultrasound photo. So I had to refilm this clip all over again because I had totally forgot that it was there. This was one of the big ones where I was like, why is no one questioning me on the ridiculous shit that's beside my bed? And maybe someone did. Maybe multiple people did. I have no idea. The humidifier. I had a stuffy nose, which I had no idea was a pregnancy symptom. Thankfully, it did not last long for me, but I had a stuffy nose when like allergies just like peaked. The pollen outside was freaking wild, and I have never had it that bad. So I think it was really like heightened by pregnancy. So I had a humidifier in my room and I would sleep with that every night, and I slept with that on for probably 2-3 weeks. The tissues beside my bed, the fact that I have 2 boxes there. What you don't know is that the box on the right is filled with fresh tissues. The box on the left is filled with used tissues. It was my trash can. That was not from like crying or anything. That was, again, stuffy nose situation. And then do you see the knitting project on the ground that has been floating around my house? It's right here. I started knitting this as soon as I got back from Mississippi. I went and I got yarn that day and I started knitting this. So if you guys are really, really deep in my content, then you would know that I actually only knit when there's a baby on the way. So, I mean, you could have thought, because I have mentioned that like my sister-in-law is pregnant. Actually, I don't know if I mentioned that on here, but on the podcast and stuff, I think it's been mentioned. Maybe you thought it was for her, or maybe you didn't think anything of it, but that is actually for my baby. And then at the beach, okay, this is where just like funny stuff, like I had to be so strategic with like only filming my back. It was comical. There's a point in Cameron's video where she's like, I have to crop half this out because I was wearing a one piece, like my belly was shown, and all of our dinners that we went to, the clothes that like fit me best right now are like tight, bodycon like dresses, you know? So I couldn't really film dinner. And even Cameron, when she was filming, I had like my purse on my lap or my napkin like pulled up so it wouldn't be suspicious. But yeah, I couldn't film like anything at dinners because I was like, I can't show an outfit of the night. Like I can't show anything. Like it's just bump here. That's like all you get. Honestly, it was like a little bit fun to kind of keep it a secret for a while there, but also just like with the way I dress with my freaking, like you wouldn't really know unless you were like super paying attention to my legs, because I definitely gained weight there, but at the exact same time, like, why are you doing that? Like, we don't do that to other people. Like, come on, unnecessary. I think that's it. Like, I think you guys are kind of caught up in a sense. Again, if you have questions, hit me up on my Instagram stories and I will address those next week. As of right now, I do have to feed my dogs and I have got something this evening that I need to attend. So that is going to be it for this video. If you guys want to check out Epidemic Sound, obviously the link is included in the description bar down below. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this journey. The next video you guys are going to see is a behind the scenes of my first trimester. So in case you're curious, that's coming on Friday. And also follow me on Instagram because a lot of freaking content is going live on Instagram as well. That's it. Bye.